What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about DogeCoin today, DOGE. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the 15th day of September, and here we are at about 26.3 cents, just below there. 8 hours, 53 minutes left in the day. Down about 5% on the day, and that's okay, right? We've had a nice, massive rally all the way up to 30 cents and beyond. Came back down a little bit, and that's fine. You know, if we're looking at this here from a high to a low, we didn't hit the 1272. We're actually, we just missed that. So it's very possible that we do come back down to the golden ratio, down to about 24.4 cents to 25.2 cents. Typically, you don't get this kind of reaction. Typically, whenever you move higher, you actually would at least see the 1272, if not higher. But if you stop here like this, I would think that you do go to the golden ratio, and that's fine. Golden ratio for support, prior resistance here for support, prior resistance here and here and here for support, right? That all three of those touch points there. It makes sense that we probably go down to about 24.6 to 25.2 cents. Okay, that's the expectation at the moment. Looking at this on the 1 hour time frame, let's look at this here. Yeah, things are looking a little bit bearish. I mean, it's looking, you know, you're getting more volumes coming in as you're moving lower. Those are some pretty serious movements down. If we're looking at this on the RSI, you do have a little bit of a double bottom, but it is a slightly lower low. I really wouldn't be surprised if we pushed lower just a little bit more to give us some bullish divergence on this 1 hour time frame, the stochastics, and even the MACD. You are forming bullish divergence on the MACD, but it can further before it's over. Looking at this here, I would think we go lower. Could we move up? We're at 26.3 cents now. Could we move up a little bit? Could we go to, let's say, 27.7 cents or something like that? Maybe just below there. Yeah, we could. And then we come back down. It's not a big deal. So if we move up from here, don't get too excited, right? You've moved up a lot over the really over the month of September here, and so far, and having a little bit of turbulence before moving higher, I think is fine. It's totally fine. And with that, I actually do want to look and let's see where you are here. Do I want to take that low? I think I want to take this low. Let's take this low to this high. You're just below the 382. Yeah, you could go all the way up to 27.9 cents and then come back down. It's very common to go from your 382 to your 236 and then back down, okay? But if we do start closing days above 28 cents, 27.9 cents, if we can close above there on a daily time frame, I would think then at that point it's time to call a spade a spade. This is the low. We are moving higher, okay? But at the moment, I really just looking at the indicators here, I wouldn't be surprised if we did move lower. 4 hour stochastics look bearish. RSI looks bearish. MACD bullish overall, but bearish momentarily. RSI is bullish overall, but bearish momentarily. So a little bit lower. We are in the area now that we have found support. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to eat these words. Maybe we don't move lower. Maybe we are at that point to find support. Because I have to admit, with such a robust move like this, it is pretty common to find support at the 382. But typically, if you find support at it on a robust move like this, you wick onto it. You don't wick through it like this. But sometimes you do. You know, like whatever. It's fine. I wouldn't be surprised if you found momentary support here, but ultimately went lower down to that 25 cent area, 24.6, 24.2 cent area, whatever it was. But nothing too crazy, right? Just prior areas of resistance confirming as support. But again, I mean, let's just see. Let's just draw a line right here. Let's draw a line there. Let's put a line here as a closing support maybe, because we're probably going to close right around this area here. Not quite there. You didn't quite interact with that there. Kind of. I would think we go lower. I'm standing by it. I think that we do go lower. And in the case that I'm wrong, which I know has never happened before, but if we close above about like 28 cents on a daily basis, then I'm wrong. Then this is the low and we're moving up higher. It doesn't have to be today. It doesn't have to be tomorrow, just any day. Before we move lower, if we close above 28 cents on a daily basis, the low is in. We're moving higher. It's fine. 4 hour time frame just looks momentarily bearish. Yeah. Daily time frame here. I feel like there was something I was going to say and I can't remember what it was. I feel like I got distracted. That's okay. 26.2 cents. I'm sure I'll remember later. Getting overbought, getting out of the overbought zone. Stochastics look great. MACD looks great. Yeah, I'm very confident that whatever it is you're doing here, it's just going to be a higher low. Okay, whether it's here, whether it's there, whether it's lower, whatever, it's going to be a higher low, and you're going to move higher. You absolutely look like you're on the right path here. If we're looking at this, zooming out a little bit more, you clearly, you know, had a very solid downtrend here, and then you've broken out of it. You had a nice rounded bottom. You had the Eve and Eve double bottom pattern. You're just slowly shifting this downtrend into an uptrend here. You have higher lows, higher highs. I do believe that what's going to happen is, and I didn't draw that line the best, you know, maybe it's more like this. I do believe what's going to happen is we break out of this trend to the upside. We'll take out these highs and we'll be on our way to new all-time highs in a matter of no time at all. I truly wouldn't be surprised with how fast DogeCoin likes to move. I wouldn't be surprised in the least if we saw new relative highs to this by the end of September. We could really be above, what would that be, 50 cents? We could be above 50 cents by the end of September, if not certainly in October. I very much do believe that we're going to reach for $1 and beyond by the end of October, and dramatically higher prices than that going into the end of the year as well. Looking at the daily time frame here, a little bit of rejection in the overbought zone, a little bit of rejection on the stochastics, right? But the MACD looks pretty good. It looks very, very good, actually very productive. Looks like what you want to see is a higher reading here than what you've seen all cycle, and that correlates very well with what I've been saying, which is that I think this movement will be the strongest move that we've seen for Dogecoin this cycle. Dogecoin's not the only crypto that I'm making this call for. There's plenty of cryptos. In fact, basically everything is going to see its strongest move of the cycle between now and the end of the year, between now and the end of the cycle. We're seeing that happen now, okay? You typically end with a bang. You don't start with, you might start with the bang sometimes too, but you typically do end with the bang. And as massive as this move was last time, if we're expecting a larger move, and I am, therefore if you're watching this, maybe you are too, we are expecting a larger move, then you would expect that something above $1 is coming our way, right? If we're making sense out of a price above $1, we take this high, come on now, give me the high, there we go, high to low. High to low, right there, $1.07 at the golden ratio, $1.52 at the 1886. We take a high here to the low there, 1272, $1.54. Anything between $1.07 to $1.52, I think is totally fine, totally adequate. I've got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Let's look at the ribbon real quick. Let's check the ribbon out. Weekly ribbon looks great. It looks, I mean, dude, you look like you're about to rally. You really do. Fantastic, right? Just imagine being here, right? I would equate it to this, right? Like this week here, when the ribbon's starting to expand, and then boom, then you rallied. These weeks here, right when the ribbon's starting to expand, and boom, you rallied, right? Contracted, you're at the same thing here. You are, man, this week right now, you're down 5.5%. I would be not surprised in the least if you saw this week close higher than last week, right? Last week we were up 21%. I wouldn't be surprised at all if this week had something that was bigger than that, or maybe similar to that, but I would be surprised if it closed red. Closing red does not mean it's bad. I would be surprised. I think we're in that up phase kind of moment right now, between now and really the end of the month and the end of the year. It's going to be fantastic. I don't have anything else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the like button, subscribe. Take care of yourselves, all right? Hugs and kisses. Bye-bye.